Do you want one of the best flyers in Arc? Today I'll show you how to tame an Argentavis. First, I'll show you two different traps you could use. This first trap is one of the most common traps in Arc. It's made of 3 stone dino gateways and 2 gates. It's easy to use, but more expensive. This second trap is much cheaper, but the RG has a much smaller space to fly through. It's made of a foundation, 8 double doorways, and a ceiling. To use the first trap, first you need to find an RG. Then, you just run into the trap and place a gate behind the RG once it's in the trap. Then, you get out of the trap as fast as possible. I came out of creative mode with no armor or tames to show how easy this is. As you can see, no matter where I run, the RG can't escape. Now, to use the second trap you also need an RG. To use the trap, you need the RG behind you and you run through the doorways. If you wait behind the trap, the RG should fly through the missing doorway on the front. Then, you just place the doorway and the RG is trapped. This trap is good because a pteranodon can fit through the double doorway, but the RG can't. So you can fly through with a pteranodon and the RG will get stuck in the trap behind you. These are what I recommend you to use to knock it out. The tech bow is by far the best way to knock something out, but is a very late game item, so you probably won't have it while taming an RG. Shocking trank darts are my favorite way to knock something out as they're relatively cheap and deal tons of torpor. Regular trank darts are what you will most likely use as you unlock them around the same time as the RG saddle. Trank arrows and a crossbow are extremely cheap, but deal lots of damage and very little torpor, so they aren't very useful at this stage of the game. To knock out the RG, you simply shoot it with the tranks that you have chosen to use. Shooting once every 5 seconds is the most efficient way to knock it out as it uses the least tranks. But shooting as fast as possible uses more tranks and is faster. I would highly recommend waiting around 5 seconds between shots. Now I'll use the other RG to show the difference between the different types of tranks. As you can see now, the crossbow does very little torpor and has a very high damage which, especially with low levels, can kill them before knocking them out. Regular trank darts deal less damage than the crossbow but deal much more torpor. Shocking trank darts deal the same damage as regular trank darts and much more torpor, making them better in almost every way. They're just more expensive. The tech bow is by far the most expensive out of all of these, but by the time you have it unlocked, you will have enough resources to not worry about the cost or efficiency, so you can spam it faster. It does less damage than darts and deals loads more torpor. There are other ways to deal torpor, but these are the best ways, and basically every other item that can is useless in PvE. Once the RG is knocked out, you have to feed it to tame it. I have my game in slow motion here, so it doesn't finish taming while I'm explaining something. That's why it looks weird. These are the best foods to tame the RG with. Raw meat is the worst, followed by prime meat, then mutton, and finally kibble is the best. The RG's food needs to drop by 50 to eat any of the meats and by 80 to eat the kibble. However, kibble gives the most taming percentage and results in the best taming efficiency, which makes the RG a higher level after taming it. You may need some narcotics while taming, such as narcoberries or narcotics. These increase the torpor, which keeps the RG asleep while taming. Narcoberries increase the torpor by less, but they increase it slower, so they are better for keeping something knocked out if it already has a high torpor. Narcotics increase the torpor by more and are faster, so they should be used if the torpor gets too low so it can quickly rise again. If you feed the RG multiple different foods, it will always prioritize the best food, which in this case is superior kibble. So if you ever don't know what food to feed something, just give it everything and it will only eat whatever is best for it. Now that you have tamed an RG, you'll need a saddle for it. The saddle costs 150 chitin or keratin, 185 fiber, and 350 hide, and is crafted in your inventory. The Argentavis isn't a very fast flyer, but it has an incredible weight and stamina stat with weight reductions for most resources. It also has a very high health and damage, but does have a low attack speed. This one is a low level, so it doesn't have very good stats. This one is a max level tame with average stats and isn't leveled at all. Argies can also pick up most dinos up to the size of a parasaur and can attack while holding them. This unleveled Argie with a mid-melee stat does 94 damage without any mate boosts. Argies also heal rapidly after harvesting a corpse, regardless of whether the Argie killed it. Overall, the Argie is one of the best early mid-game tames as it can fly extremely long distances and is strong enough to fight most things it will run into. Thank you for watching the video. If you learned something, please like and subscribe as it means a lot to me.